Hey everyone, thanks for watching the next video of Road to Full Stack Developer. I am Franklin, and today we are going to cover an extension video of some content that is kind of based on two prior videos. So if you haven't seen the two prior videos, you might want to go and watch those before you watch this, especially if you're newer to development. The first video, we covered terminal and some basic traversing and creating of directories and deleting directories and creating files and deleting files. Just a couple of different things, as well as providing a cheat sheet for basic commands. And those commands are going to be used probably for the rest of your career. The second video we actually did recently was a video of setting up Homebrew for quick installation of different packages, as well as setting up iTerm2 as a terminal emulator, which I have open in front of me. And we also actually made the change from Bash to Zsh shell, and then using Zsh, the framework, to get these plugins, powerful plugins, 200 plus plugins, as well as 150 plus themes that we can use to customize our terminal. So those two videos are already done with. I'm not going to elaborate too much on those videos. Today's video is actually about commands, further commands, some specific bash scripts, which can also be used with Zsh, because Zsh is very close, if not too much different than bash, and also aliases, which is going to be a really good and interesting thing for those of you who are newer to development and overall the terminal. That being said, I am going to post a link to this particular article that has essentially some of the differences between Zsh and Bash that have been discovered. There aren't too many, even though this looks like a long list. It's just some small differences, and I think there might even be some duplications there. So I will definitely link that below. If you have any questions, let me know. The biggest and most exciting thing about this video is one that it's going to be very short, because I don't actually need to do a lot in this video. I am really just showing you something that I spent a little bit of time putting together and explaining what it is. Here you go. This is what I'm going to paste below. This is a personal gist that I created on GitHub Gist, and essentially a gist is just like a little note. This is a markdown file I created called commands, aliases, and scripts. And really it breaks down into two things: commands and then aliases. Now there is a specific link here for Bash Snippets. So if you want to install the Bash Snippets, since we have Homebrew installed now, you can use brew install Bash Snippets. And here you can see this collection of different useful Bash scripts for heavy command line users, it says, but in reality there's some really cool stuff here that you can use in the terminal that is fast. For example, one, you don't have to do a lot of this because you have brew installed, but you can see right here, this currency one, you would specifically run currency, and then you would use base currency, specify the exchange currency, the amount being exchanged, and a script would be ran, basically a bash snippet that would return a response in your terminal, something pretty cool like that. There are a ton of these here, and I don't have time to go through all of them. And really, that's the exciting part about development, is that I don't have to teach you everything. You should be curious. You should go find out for yourself, and you should do some testing, because that's honestly the heart of a developer. That being said, I did create this list to just show some different things that were a little bit beyond just the standard traversing, deleting, and creating of the terminal. So for example, you can actually do something like cat file of a specific file to get a peek in it. This doesn't really make sense since this is a JPEG, but if this was a text file, you could see a little bit in there, a peek. The image cat, you can show images or GIFs in your terminal. There's some stuff for basic copying, seeing your current port, how you can open up your current directory like I have done right here just a second ago, to open that in a Finder window, running a wireless scan, checking your history, clearing your terminal, just a couple of different things here, how to quickly shut down or restart your Mac. There's also these two, which a lot of people tend to Google, which is how to force Finder to show or your hidden files, all the dot files that you'd have at your root level. So you can use this in your terminal to make that happen. Just be aware that you are, with that one, going to have to actually force quit the Finder in the activity monitor if you're on a Mac OS. I'm not sure what it's called on Linux. That being said, that's pretty much the gist, get it, of, that's so bad, of scripts and the commands part of this video. I'm not going to go into them in great depth. Providing resources, provided this documentation, did some research to just try to make sure that most of these work, and also that they're relevant ones that are probably going to be used a lot. There is one that I'd like to share as well. I think this one's cool. It is a gist provided by this person. I don't know how to pronounce their name, so I'm not going to butcher it. And you can actually just copy this whole thing and run it in your terminal, and you'll get the matrix effect in your terminal. So if you wanted to have that open another window, it's pretty cool. There is also something called cmatrix for this, and there should be some way to pipe that to recolor it if you'd like. But anyways, that's pretty much the conversation I'd like to have with commands, bash scripts, and scripts in general. You should get creative with that, enjoy that, have fun with that, make your system your own, and then create your own gist maybe, and put all the different things that you want to make sure that you have across different environment variables. There's some cool stuff here with aliases. Now, aliases are very cool. They're kind of like terminal shorthands or shortcut keys or key bindings, if you will. And essentially, there is, at the root level, you can have an alias file. In our case, we're going to actually look at the zshrc file that I've opened up in Visual Studio Code. And in here, you can have all of the different aliases you would like. And we briefly brought this up in the last video, specifically using these example aliases that are kind of focused around Docker. But here I have provided a number of different aliases and what you might be able to use them for. These are not all of the aliases that particularly I have in mind to use. Even my Zsh file doesn't have all of my aliases, and for security reasons, there are also things in my alias I don't want to show you. That being said, there is quite a bit of pretty awesome simple aliases, and essentially it's just nice to have something that you can do pretty fast. For example, clearing your whole terminal, instead of just doing clear and pressing return, you can just press C and then enter. These are just time savers. They're not really like crazy as far as time saving, but it does make it nice to be able to run something. And you can run something that's chained, like in the I guess right here I have the being able to issue many commands instead of typing them out individually one by one. All it takes is the and operator, essentially. And so, for example, you can npm I, which would install node modules from node package management based on a package.json file, and then actually run and start you run the npm start script for that package.json to get yourself going. And this could be one command that you would put in here as maybe n, and you could, or ns for, or nis for node install start, right? And you could have an alias that does that. And so all you would do is type nis enter, and it would install all your modules and delete them. And then you could even have something like purge, where you just do, prg, and that would delete all your node modules in a given directory and reinstall node modules and then start. So you can have some really quick, cool aliases. And that's the bulk of what I wanted to share, pretty much, is this document that I created, so you can go even further and enjoy the terminal even further. There are a ton of different commands. I can't really cover all of them, just because if you think about it, there are also curl commands, there are tons of network commands, there are a lot of commands once you get into like DevOps stuff. So I'm not going to cover all those, because that would just be many videos, and to be honest, I don't really have the need to use them yet. There may be some point in time where we uncover a specific command, and ideally I'd like to get to the next set of videos. So thank you for watching. I know it was a short video, about 10 minutes, and that was my goal. Have a great evening, and I'll see you in the next one.